Hi, this is Mrs. Kidman, and in this video, we're going to be discussing how we can use the relationships between a median and a centroid to find different lengths of a triangle. So let's take a look at these first examples here. So in triangle RST, which is our big triangle here, the point Q is the centroid, and SQ is length 8. Find QW and SW. Well, QW and SQ actually have a relationship. So remember that centroid says that we have a 2/3 distance from the vertice to this point. So 8 is 2/3 of the distance, and this will be 1/3. So if 2/3 is this and 1/3, I don't know why this says 1/4, 1/3 is this, that means 8 is double what the other one is. So QW is going to be half of 8, which is 4. And then SW is going to be the whole thing. So SQ is 8, QW is 4, then SW is 12. So using that 2/3 relationship, or that 2-to-1 ratio, we can determine that distance. So let's take a look at this next example here. In triangle RST, point Q is the centroid and SQ is 10. Find QW and SW. So again, with that being a centroid, we know that this is that 2/3 relationship to the 1/3. In this case, it is actually 10 instead of 8. So knowing that, if 2/3 is 10, 1/3 is half of that, so that's going to be 5. So we know that the length of QW is 5, and that means SW is 10 plus 5, or 15. Awesome. Now we want to look at one more example, in which case we're using the relationships of that median and the centroid to determine what different lengths are in this problem. So there are 3 paths through a triangular park. Each path goes from the midpoint of one end to the opposite corner, past me at point P. So that means, based on that definition, that this is our centroid. Oh, that is not a good color right on top. It's green. Centroid. And that means each of these lines here are the median. So because of that, we also know that this is the same as this. This is the same as this. And this over here is the same as that over there. Fantastic. And I'm going to shift this a tiny bit. There we go. Okay, so those are all the same. That's just what that description tells us. Now, we want to find different dimensions here. So we want to find PS and PC if SC is 2,100 feet. Well, remember, if this whole thing is 2,100 feet, 2/3 of it is going to be P to C, and 1/3 of it is going to be S to P, based on that property between the centroid and the medians. So the centroid to the closest vertice is 2/3 the overall distance. And so if SC is 2,100, 2/3 times 2,100 is going to be PC. So PC equals 2/3 of 2,100. And so length PC equals 1,400. Similarly, that means that PS is going to be 1/3 of the distance, and 1/3 of 2,100 is going to give us a distance of 700. Now, what we want to do in this next one is find the distance TC, which is TC and BC. Oh, right here, this is T. We want to find this distance and the whole length if we're told that this length is 1,000. Okay, so because it's a median, that means that that side of our triangle is split into 2 equal pieces. So if BT equals 1,000, that means that TC also has to equal 1,000. And if both of them equal 1,000, then that means that BC is going to equal 2,000. Okay, lastly, we want to figure out what the distance from we want to figure out what PA is, as well as TA, this whole long piece, if this piece here is 800. Well, because that's our shorter distance, we know that's going to be the 1/3 to our 2/3. So if that's 1/3, double that is going to be P to A. So PA is going to be, oh, not in parentheses, sorry. PA is going to be double, or 2 times 800. And so that tells us that length PA is going to be 1,600 feet. And then TA is going to be the sum of those 2 things. And so if we have 1,600 feet for one length and 800 feet for the other, total we've got 2,400 feet in length. And again, all of these are in feet. And so that's how we can use that idea of a median and a centroid to determine what those distances are. How crazy is that? By just knowing 3 things, by knowing 1 thing, we can figure out 2 other things, which is so cool about this geometry and these properties here. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, but that is how we can use those properties of the median and the centroid to find different side lengths and segment lengths in a triangle.